We head back to the other group. You guys have missed the portal by an hour and a half. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
The Duchess is furious.
No! Why books?
They're all just sitting outside. You guys, like Sonic, tapping your foot,
Yeah.
checking your watches.
Tap. You guys going to talk about anything on your way over, or are you just heading there? What's the plan?
I was gonna ask if they did anything or heard anything last night, like if they were out and about, and possibly saw anybody in the area or anything as it relates to the Moida.
Oh, murder.
Moira?
Got
Who's
it.
Moira?
I think Michelle's muted again. I can't hear
Michelle,
anything.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, my roommate keeps coming down and making a lot of noise.
It's okay.
I did not know what you said. I did not know what murder was in that weird accent.
Moida.
I'm apparently the only
terrified.
person who gets Mike. I don't know.
I got it.
Okay,
I
well,
got
Jason,
I didn't
Eventually.
get it either.
your brain was like,
to be-
Moida, we got a real bad mood over here.
To be fair, Chris and I have known each other for a very long time.
hey, Scarecrow.
So, who are you asking? Are you asking Tessian and
no,
I?
that's the group. The
I'm
other group.
asking everybody who was awake because I passed out first, remember?
Because they're heading from the southern side of town.
Oh,
up to
okay,
the, you guys aren't there, but it's the four of them.
Like if they heard anything, if they saw anything weird at all, like during the night, like that might relate to this even tangentially, except I wouldn't use the word tangentially.
I'm going to send a side eye to Grail because I'm going to let her take
Yeah.
this one.
I'm just gonna kind of walk close to him as we're on our way and just say, there was something that came up. Now is not the right time to discuss it, but we will shortly. Okay, just trust me on this. Please, just trust me on this.
I can trust you. That is fine.
Okay. Thank you, Karash. Though I do think investigating is important. I think we need to see if there's any additional information that we can find. So,
Do you think he may be one of the Blades of Indemnity?
I actually don't know. I do believe that his death is a message. I don't know who it's for. But maybe if we visit his house, there will be some more information. I don't know.
If writing is common, why would you not just leave a message with paper?
What do you mean?
You said his death was a message. Why would you not just write a message with paper?
Well, Karash, sometimes messages need to be seen on a grander scale. Sometimes a letter won't do it. My cat is here, everyone, just so you know. She is ready for bed, I think.
We have
Not yet.
She
noticed.
missed the tabaxi action. She's yelly.
Mm-hmm.
She's so cute.
Are you trying to be secretive about this?
What?
Talking to Crash?
I'm not like whispering, but I don't want to be like speaking boisterously, but like the shard can hear. You're in our group, and so I'm just kind of like, this is what's going on. I'm not
We've
going.
inexplicably accepted you already.
Yes, I like this shard. I weirdly trust him. I think he's just really straightforward. So anyway, you can hear me.
So we should abandon this investigation.
Not necessarily. I do think I might know some things. It's true, but I don't know the whole story, and I don't know how this connects. And there might be something in his home that can give us some more information.
Yes. Perhaps we can discuss it there.
Yes.
You guys make your way across town with the wagon. It's relatively easy going. You still probably have 25, 30 minutes left by the time you arrive at the front of what appears to be a pretty good-sized house. You can tell from the outside this is not on the Duchess's level, but then again, probably nothing in this town is. That said, if not that, this does appear to be a pretty nice house. Multiple stories, 3 from the looks of it from the outside. Another really well-kept garden in the front. No gate or anything on the outside. Nothing that seems to provide any security to the house. At the moment, you can kind of even see inside the windows. Doesn't appear to be anybody inside. You don't see... There's no, like, Crusaders there currently, even though Derek mentioned they at least had been there at one point. But that's kind of the state of the house at the moment.
I'm going to walk up and knock.
Nice.
Okay. Kind of wait for a second. No
I'm
answer.
gonna try the door handle.
It is unlocked.
No wonder this
Cool.
man was murdered.
Says Lincoln.
I know. That was not the shard speaking. That was just straight up Lincoln.
You've been to the Duchess's house. These people's description of security is laughable.
So, on the inside, the house is probably more well kept than you're expecting, considering that by all accounts this man lived alone, but he does seem to have kept a good house. So it's like essentially the opposite of Dunosk's place where you were recently, where there was a mess everywhere and papers strewn about and stuff on the floor. This is the opposite of that, where everything has its place, everything has its purpose. There is, on the downstairs at the very least, there is a sitting area, there's a kitchen where everything is hung up on the extra utensils and stuff are held up on the wall and hung up nicely, and you're kind of looking around the bottom of the first floor and looks like a nice house. And from what you can tell, there has been some activity here recently. There's not like dust or anything that's been moved out of the way, but like it does look like somebody came through here, kind of picked up things, moved things around. Things are about where they're supposed to be, but it does seem like someone who didn't live here has come through because some things are a little bit off from what you might expect.
I'm going to start lifting rugs and like poking around to try and find a cellar or a basement or a trapdoor.
3 more rugs of smothering.
Start lifting rugs and ripping them in half.
No!
That damaging. Good lord.
Let's just have you all make an investigation check. I'm presuming it's what you're here to do.
Yep.
Intimidation.
I'm all over that. I will intimidate the shit out of those carpets.
You're going
17.
to give me the answers, boy.
14.
21.
I have an 8 for token reasons.
Okay. What else are you guys going to check out, just generally?
I'm going to look around for any additional notes or letters, specifically to see if anything matches the name of the person, of the letters that I took from the shop.
I'm going to see if
Okay.
there's a study of any kind. Desk, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like a secret cabinet or something.
She's learning.
Yes.
Karash, you start picking up the various rugs and anything else that's covering your view of the ground itself. There does not appear to be a basement or a cellar in this place. You pick up everything the best you can, and you don't think you've missed anything, but there does not appear to be anything that leads down here, unlike some of the other places you've been recently.
Nothing in the kitchen, nothing in the back of the house, like a storm cellar sort
Nothing
of
in
thing.
the kitchen, nothing in the sitting room, nothing in one of the bedrooms on the first floor. The first floor seems to check out, and even kind of looking around the back of the house where it opens up into like a really nicely kept grassy area. Nothing really stands out as far as like this could go down anywhere. In fact, everything appears to check out as far as like there's none.
There's no other buildings on the property either that I can see on the when I'm looking out the
There
windows.
are not, no. Let's see.
An outhouse?
No, there's toilets in Aramea. It's fine.
Oh.
Are there, though? We don't know. It's like 24. We're not going to spend time on that.
I
Lena.
haven't role played going to the bathroom yet, so I don't know.
I know. We'll get there. Lena, kind of feeling about the cabinets inside, you can see a variety of plates and dishes and other stuff. Feeling about, trying to see if there's anything that, like a latch or a compartment or a button that activates something. Nothing seems to catch your attention.
Dang it.
Shard, there is a study, and inside of it is a pretty large desk. And assuming you'd like to rifle around inside, there are plenty of documents as it pertains to the Grand Reserva. They all appear to be, at least on the surface, of legitimate business dealings again. They're all related to the inventory that you saw at the store. There's nothing about human trafficking. There's nothing about, you flip through a lot of these, and they're all pretty well organized, and you get a pretty good sense that this man through and through appeared to be a legitimate businessman. There's nothing that sticks out as like, oh, he was being threatened or blackmailed or dealing in something he wasn't supposed to be. He appears to be above ground. Grail, you're kind of canvassing the first floor and looking about, you can tell things have been picked up, put back, moved about, looked underneath, looked above. Someone came through, presumably the Crusaders, to see what this place was like. For a moment, there is just the corner of a piece of paper sticking out from a tabletop in the sitting room. There's like a platter on top of it that's probably used for tea or something similar, and it's just the very corner of it, but it catches your eye as you're kind of wandering about the room. And as you lift up the tray to have a look at it, it is a letter. And the letter, I was for a half second, probably because I'm tired, I was like, make an investigation check on a letter.
I walk away.
Yeah, I know. Do you want to check the letter? Or are you
nope,
like,
I'm good.
Nah.
I'm all good.
Yeah. It's addressed to Baravor. It is not signed, so it's not from anybody, as far as you can tell. It does suggest that, essentially the letter writes that he is in danger, trust no one, get out while you can. Make a history check.
Okay. Oh boy. This is gonna be fun. I have not been rolling well lately. Or today. Okay, 18.
This does strike you as being slightly familiar. You recall that there was a letter addressed to Crackshot Allison that had similar wording to it. That one was signed with the initial M. This one is not, but the phrasing is almost identical.
Yeah, I do recall that actually. Well, I'm gonna take that, obviously. Just stealing letters left and right. But yeah, no, I'm gonna just slip that in a pocket with the others.
As you guys kind of look up above the second and third floors where there are multiple bedrooms up there and washrooms / outhouses / it's a house. Beyond that slip of paper that was almost imperceptible underneath, either anything that was here of note has already been taken by the Crusaders, or there was nothing of note to begin with. This is a man who had his affairs in order, and like Derek was talking about, as the four of you are looking around, there's really nothing that suggests why he should have been killed or why he would have been out and about that night, except the note that may inform why he was out at that time of the evening. But beyond that, it seems to be a pretty regimented man who had a pretty set schedule to him, and there's no signs of anything like a struggle in the house, no signs of forced entry. Everything kind of checks out with the story you've had so far.
Okay.
Are there any calligraphy tools?
Calligraphy tools?
Yeah, things for writing.
There were some in the desk in the study.
I'll grab those and some paper.
Okay.
Bunch of goddamn thieves.
I am not going to tell anybody about my discovery yet.
I have found nothing.
Yeah, I think this place has been pretty well canvassed by the Crusades anyway.
How much time do we have before we need to return?
I think it's about that time, probably.
Yeah, we did what we could.
Yes, we did. And he looks at Grail.
Oh, no! I'm going to not say anything about that or acknowledge it in any way. And, well, shall we get back to the group?
Yes.
Were you going to explain the situation now? Or?
I feel like it might be best when we're all present, the whole group.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not asking you. I'm assuming that you're going to tell me, and I'm not going to push it, because I'm trusting you, Grail.
Good! Yay! No, I want to tell everybody. It's just not. We need to get out of here first, probably. I
Or
don't.
whatever. Wise.
Crash, would you like to check his kitchen?
No.
The man is dead. The food will spoil. No sense in that.
Maybe there's some fish, some like salted fish that you can eat.
I would not steal from a dead man. I do not know this man.
If he is dead, it is not stealing.
This was brought up before too. I love it.
I do not feel comfortable stealing from a dead man whom I do not know to be mean or evil.
As you like.
Is the shard gonna eat something from the kitchen?
We already ate breakfast.
He's not
That's
currently
fair.
hungry.
Rummaging through the fridge, just like, all he's got is yogurt.
Red Shard needs food badly.
Fascinating technology.
So now they keep cheese in a can now, do they? All right, heading out.
Yeah.
So as you guys essentially come from similar ends of the town, you reconvene back at the Duchess's manor and buzz the gate. Gregory lets you inside slowly, leads you back up to the sitting room, and in no time the Duchess is back. And she says, I have received approval. You may travel to Lycidian to do whatever endeavors you see fit. You seem to mention that there was something time-sensitive to it, and in that sense, I wish you good luck. They will also contact me when you look to make arrangements to come back, hopefully within a week, as you mentioned. If not, if there's something that comes up and you're like, it's not going to work out as far as the timeline goes, then at least try and let them know so they can send a message to me. Again, I will try to be as flexible as I can with this, but you understand, I have to run a city, and even though I believe I've gained some manner of trust of you, I don't just want you to come into my manor at all hours of night. You know, it's simply uncouth.
Of course. No problem at all.
So if you're ready to leave the city, I can lead you back to my chambers.
Did you guys put the mules up?
Oh.
They're dead.
We were meant... I know that was my plan at some point.
Crash got hungry.
I wanted to. But we
I've
kind
already
of
been
just...
instructed to not eat them.
It's fine, you can eat the mules. They don't belong to a dead man.
I would have done that. Yes, we would have done that.
I'm
Sure.
distracted by the whole library thing. It took forever, and then I forgot.
Well, we can
Yeah.
retcon that easily enough. You were not so pressed for time. There was not time to take it to the stable and put it up for a
Yay,
week.
Thank you.
And we'll even say that even though it would have taken probably a few silver to do so, that somehow you have the money that Tessian is carrying and whatever, fine. It's great. You guys have the money to cover. It's not a big deal. So, yes, the cart and the mules have been covered. The rug is in the cart still. I'm imagining you're grabbing at least some of the rations for the go, and that's that.
Oh, I was taking the skull with me too, just for funsies.
I
Good.
kind of
In a-
assumed.
in a bag.
Good.
Yeah, I figured.
It's fine.
So, yes, the mules have been dealt with. So, that just says, do you have any other arrangements you need to do in the city, or are you ready to go?
Now would be fantastic, thank you.
I am
I'm a
quite
little
ready.
bit. I'm a little bit anxious.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
I would have asked if you guys found anything. We don't have to do that now, but
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about what
you
we
didn't find
did,
anything
but-
anyway. So, yeah, no time like the present.
There was only the present.
Exactly, Crash. Thank you for your reinforcement.
Yeah, he doesn't know that word either. All right.
I understand reinforcement. That's the thing that comes to assist you when you're killing things.
Yes, that's true. So the Duchess leads you back, gliding with her lithe footsteps, to a chamber that appears to be adjacent to a room that you can kind of get a peek of as you walk past, but it appears to be a lavish bedroom. There is a couple of doors that she passes through along the way that she, unlocks in the process, but for the most part, sort of like the front gate, she doesn't seem necessarily super worried about intruders. She leads you inside a relatively unassuming stone-walled room, maybe 15 feet by 15 feet. It's actually not a tight fit for everybody, but it's not meant to hold a ton of people. You've all fit in there fine, but and there is a glyph on the ground that you can see carved into it. That Tessian and perhaps also Isaac has. No, Isaac definitely has because of Timberbrook. You do know that these are intricate in their design. These sigils and circles that are created by this process take a long time to do and come at the great expense. But you have both seen these before, perhaps not traveled through. I think Tessian might have. I don't think Isaac has. But you know these to be exactly what's been advertised at this point. These are essentially teleportations that are going to let you go to Lycidian as promised. And she says, well, I thank you for your help in the city. We'll do the best we can to get down to the bottom of what happened last night, but don't let it trouble you. And I will look forward to hearing of your return.
Thank you so much for all of your assistance. It's greatly appreciated. We'll be in touch.
I'm going to get a little bit misty, but a determined look on my face, and thank you.
I cast Detect Magic.
It's a good time now.
Yes, it's still pointing towards Karash. You also notice that there's a lot of magic in this room. Even though the teleportation circle has not yet been activated, you can sense that this is an artifact of sorts that has been built over time with the help of many people who were skilled with magic. But unfortunately, or fortunately, the thread is still connected to Karash.
Karash, look. Another benefit of knowing how to write.
Damn.
Tessian extends his hand to the Duchess, and it's like, it's been a pleasure, Duchess.
And she kind of takes it with that kind of loose grip where your fingers kind of wrap around. It's a very almost dainty handshake, but she does return it. And then she says, at a volume that is not befitting the woman of her stature that you've encountered to this point, but you suspect is done so that Gregory can hear it, she says, she raises her voice for really the first time that you've been in her presence, and she says, okay, Gregory, let them know it's time. And you guys watch as underneath your feet in this room, the glyph activates and this bluish-white light courses through it in a circular manner that eventually lights up the entire glyph and all of its geometric shapes contained within. And there's this moment that passes where everybody except Tessian, and even Tessian to an extent, you feel a little sick to your stomach as the area around you kind of goes from this view of the Duchess as she's kind of watching you and the inside of her manor to just a bright, almost blinding white where you can't see anything for a moment. And it passes so quickly. It's almost to the point where you barely have time to ascertain that it was white at all or any color. And in that moment that passes, you find yourself in a different stone room. This one, unlike the other one, has a couple of windows in it that are letting in light, but they appear to be reinforced with pretty thick panes to them, and there's no opening mechanism to them. And on the inside is a female dwarf with brown, almost black hair that is braided multiple times in the back in different positions, so it looks like she has much longer hair than she's letting on. And she looks at you and she says, well, welcome to Lycidian. It's not every day someone curries personal favor with the Duchess.
I suppose we just got lucky.
Is
Thank
everyone
you.
all right? And I'm like grabbing to make sure everything came through correctly. We all here?
Yes, I
Karash,
think so.
feeling okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Crash, make a Constitution saving throw.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a mother.
I was going to say it before you said your line, but...
Oh God, where'd my screen go?
6.
6.
There's this moment where you start to say everything is fine, and then you throw up on the floor.
There it is.
Oh, no.
There it is.
The sudden, somewhat unexpected stomach drop feeling of essentially being transported through the plains to this new location catches up with you suddenly. And for the first time, that hangover really hits you a little bit. And it's a little bit. It's not a much, but it's also, it's on the floor, on the teleportation glyph, which is now fading. You can see the light kind of reversing the process that it did when you first saw it activate. And the dwarf just looks over you and she goes, "Ha! We see that a lot."
apologize.
I'm gonna try
I'll help
cleaning
you.
it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna also try to help clean that up.
That's fine. You have all sorts of spare, cloth and whatever at your disposal. And there's not a ton of it. It's easy to do.
I think I could just press to digitate it away. I don't even know. Unsoil it. Right?
If you can beat him to it, sure, that's fine.
I don't. Doesn't matter.
If you want to, you can certainly do it by the time he pulls something out to wipe it up with. It's up to you.
Sure. Save your cloth. Just
All right.
Thank you.
The dwarf goes, I see that. We see that less often, but that's a fun trick. Anyways, have fun in the city.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Dwarf. What should we call you?
She says, well, I had to pull up a name. I thought this was going to be a 4-second conversation, so you'll...
Dwarf, you make dwarf face.
Yeah. Don't worry, I have a... Kathnora.
Nice to meet you, Kathnora. I am Karash, Paladin of Cord. I need to use the facilities.
Yes, well, you'll find them out in the main chambers, and I hope you feel better, Karash of the Thunder.
Thank you.
How are we to find you again when we need to return?
Well, I was told about the arrangement. Just come find me or whomever else is in charge of this particular portal. You're going to find when you go out in the main chamber, there's a lot of them here, but you'll know which one it is. It's got a sign that talks about Harnstead. I was going to say Harncrest. Harnstead. Can't miss it.
Okay.
Follow the signs.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys head out into... there's basically just one door out of this room. This room is bigger than the one that was in the Duchess's personal quarters, but still relatively small. You step out into a room that is anything but. It is a giant circular area where there are more doors than anyone can count, certainly Karash, in every which direction, with signs designating parts of Aramea you've heard of, parts of it you haven't, and there are different creatures of an assortment of like male and female and all sorts of races, still primarily elf, half-elf, human, but there's a tiefling, there's a halfling, there's a couple of halflings guarding certain doors. Every direction you look appears to be a room that leads to another portal to somewhere else. And you quickly realize that Lycidian's reputation as the hub of everything in Aramea is well-deserved. This location that you've been brought to is very different from the one in Duchess's Manor. This is a purposely built and well-guarded hub to get people everywhere across the continent quickly.
Does my family's portal go here?
There is one with a sign that says Black Harbor on it, yes.
Okay. Just looking. He's just looking.
Yep. You also do see a wide entryway that appears to lead to the outside. So unless you would like to poke around in any of these doors, which you can kind of get the sense from looking at these folks that they're not really interested in visitors.
Well, I would have gotten started right away. Right before we left, I wanted to show the person, whatever the hell that name was, the picture of the daughter, and be like, "Have you happened to see this person around? Do you have any leads?"
Shake this girl.
It's a milk carton.
Are we gonna be running around and you're just gonna like pull people over and just be like, "Have you seen this girl?" You gonna pull a Terminator too?
That does sound discreet. Kathnora looks over the picture and says, "No, doesn't ring a bell, but I mean, good luck knowing everybody here."
I figured as much.
I know. Okay, so I do not know where to start, but I know where we can look for help if we need some assistance in the city finding the girl.
Okay.
You do?
Do tell.
There is a temple of Cord here. I have never been, but I am Karash, Paladin of Cord. They will not turn me away.
Yes, of
Tessian, I think that's a good idea. I was thinking perhaps before we start combing the city, perhaps we could all go grab a drink at one of the taverns here and maybe discuss our plan of attack.
Maybe no alcohol.
Water.
Okay, Crash. You don't have to drink. I won't either.
I think that's wise.
Perhaps somewhere private. I think we need to speak quietly.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're.
I know
leaving the
areas down near the docks. How close are we to that?
Well, as you guys step outside, the first impression you get is holy shit. Looking around outside, just from your location here, you have no real sense of where the docks are from your location. You're not on them, at the very least. What you do see is thousands of buildings as far as the eye can see. You see a towering building, a spire that sticks up in the very center of Lycidian, where it essentially overlooks the entire town. Even from here, you can make out that it's built of some kind of extremely sturdy white stone or other substance, and dwarfs the other buildings in Lycidian, some of which are tens of stories tall. This sticks up thousands of feet and easily attracts your eye as you look around outside. You also see very quickly that you've stepped out into a street where there are hundreds of people. We're not talking like full-on Vegas Strip where they're all packed like a dense ball of humanity, but it's like Assassin's Creed in the populated streets where there's just humanity moving in every which direction. There's an organization to it that you can quickly pick up on as like people who are familiar with this town moving about in a way where they somehow manage to weave and duck and avoid the other people that are walking in their path and still make it to their destination. But even as you just step outside and try and get your bearings, there are people who are now walking around you. Not really put off by your presence standing still, but still, like, they seem to be used to this idea of there's people everywhere and we're just going to go around these folks. You have entered into the city of Lycidian. Population 6 figures. And your current location or where you're headed next, we will find out next time. So, the party's in the capital, the biggest city by far in Aramea. They're looking for a girl of whom they have a photograph. They're 0 for 1 so far, but there's a lot of people to ask. You never know. So what they're going to do next, where they might try and hole up to discuss this plan first and all that jazz, we will see next time on the Anachroschism.